You wake up on a weekday in mid-March 2020 and realize, no school today, and for the next few weeks at least. The news said last night that everything's shutting down because of a spreading virus, but you're not worried. At first, it feels like an unexpected holiday. You grab your phone and text your best friend in all caps. No school! The excitement is electric, like every teenager's wish for an extended break come true. You roll out of bed at noon with a giddy sense of freedom. The first days of lockdown are a blur of indulgence. You spend hours sprawled on the couch, controller in hand, diving into Fortnite with unrestrained joy. Morning, afternoon, late into the night. It's all the same now, just endless time to play. You and your friends squad up and laugh yourselves silly over voice chat, the worries of the world outside temporarily forgotten. One night, you even join millions of others at a mind-blowing virtual concert inside the game, your avatar bouncing under a psychedelic sky as a giant rapper performs. It's surreal and thrilling. Who needs real concerts when you can have neon giants putting on a show in your favorite video game? When you're not gaming, you're glued to your phone. TikTok is exploding, and you scroll for hours through goofy skits, dances, and memes. You even learn a few viral dances alone in your room, propping up your phone to record, just to feel like part of the craze sweeping the world. Late at night, your screen glows as you binge-watch endless YouTube videos, gaming highlights, prank vlogs, absurd comedy skits. There's an entire universe online keeping you entertained, and you dive in head first. It feels like peak internet culture, and you're living inside it. Surprisingly, your social life doesn't die in lockdown. It shifts online and even expands. Classmates you barely spoke to at school now invite you to join their group chats and online games. And then there's Among Us, the simple little game that becomes a massive phenomenon. By summer, your friend group is obsessed with crewmates and imposters, accusing each other of being sus over late-night Discord calls. You spend countless evenings lying in bed, headset on, giggling with friends as you pretend to betray each other in-game. The sound of your laughter bouncing off your bedroom walls is comforting. Even in isolation, you're not truly alone. Everyone is just a ping away. Your days lose all structure, but you're fine with it at first. It's like an endless weekend. No rushed mornings, no crowded hallways, no strict bedtime. Afternoons melt into evenings and time blurs. Weekdays and weekends blend together. Sometimes you realize it's 3 p.m. and you're still in pajamas. Your parents encourage you to stick to a schedule, but they're struggling with their own routines too. Even school feels like a joke now. You attend classes from your bed, camera off, half listening to teachers talk to a grid of muted icons. You think, this is the life. It's a teenager's fantasy come true. All the free time you want, minimal supervision, and your favorite digital worlds at your fingertips. But the novelty only lasts so long. The vacation keeps extending. 2 weeks turn into 4, then into months. Spring bleeds into summer and still nothing has resumed. You soon realize it's not just school that's gone. Your soccer season is canceled. The spring musical you auditioned for, canceled. Birthday parties, sleepovers, field trips. Every little event you were looking forward to has evaporated. Even a simple Friday night at the mall or a study session at a friend's house is off the table. You hadn't understood how much those little things meant until suddenly none of them are possible. What first felt like a break now feels more like a loss. Boredom creeps in, slow and silent. By late April, that giddy freedom turns into restless monotony. You've binged every show people recommended and scrolled through every feed twice. You even watched that bizarre documentary everyone was joking about at the start of lockdown. And now you've run out of things to watch. You refresh your apps aimlessly, looking for something, anything new. But the internet starts to feel like an echo chamber. Video games that once excited you start to feel routine. Another day, another Fortnite match. You win, you lose, it all blurs together. Sometimes you just lie on the floor and stare at the ceiling, sighing, I'm so bored. It's a weird, hollow feeling, having endless free time, yet nothing feels fun anymore. The isolation weighs on you more each day. You miss your friends, their jokes, their presence, the way hanging out used to be. Video chats and texts that once sufficed now only remind you of what you're missing. And after a while, you stop joining the virtual hangouts altogether. At the same time, being stuck at home with your family 24/7 is making everyone irritable. You snap at each other over tiny things. Who's hogging the Wi-Fi? Who didn't do their chores? The house feels like a pressure cooker. It's strange. You feel lonely and cut off, yet you also crave personal space away from those same few people. Some nights you put on headphones and blast music to drown out your thoughts, trying to escape the restless sadness inside you. Meanwhile, the world outside your window is in crisis, even if you've barely noticed. Early on, you paid little attention to the news beyond no school announcements. The virus felt distant, like something happening on another planet. You knew people were getting sick and dying, but you figured it wouldn't really touch your life. You're young and healthy. And they said it mostly hit the elderly, right? So while you were racking up Fortnite wins and TikTok likes, things were falling apart for others. Occasionally, reality pierces your bubble. You overhear your parents whisper that a neighbor's grandmother passed away, or catch a snippet of news about packed hospitals. It's unsettling but still abstract, like a disaster movie that's hard to believe is real. You usually shrug it off and retreat back to your screens. But reality finds a way in. One night, scrolling through social media, you see a post by a girl in your town whose dad just died of COVID-19. She writes that she couldn't even say goodbye to him. You stare at her words, feeling a cold weight in your stomach. In that moment, the statistics on the news become a real person's pain. You feel guilty for every time you complained about being bored. While you were whining about video calls and canceled plans, some people were losing the ones they love. It's a jarring wake-up call. You turn off your phone and lie in the dark, and for the first time, you truly feel the gravity of what's happening beyond your walls. Summer arrives with an eerie quiet. The sun still shines, days still pass, but everything that normally makes summer special, pool parties, 4th of July cookouts, warm evenings with friends at the park, is absent. Your neighborhood streets are empty, stores are closed. Sometimes you think to yourself, this is definitely going in the history books. You're living through something that still feels surreal, even as you're in the middle of it. Eventually, about a year passes. By early spring 2021, you're beyond ready for normal life to return. And finally, it is. The world is inching toward normalcy. There's no single, all-clear day, but you start noticing changes. School reopens for in-person classes a few days a week. The first time you reunite with friends face-to-face, it's both wonderful and weird. You meet a friend at a park, sitting a cautious distance apart, and you can't stop smiling because they're actually there. Bit by bit, life resumes its color. You swap video chats for actual hangouts. You grab a drive-through milkshake with friends and it tastes like pure freedom. You play your first soccer game in a year, or walk into a movie theater where other people are around, and it almost feels normal. Each little first, the first hug from your grandparents, the first time sitting in a classroom again, is like waking up from a long, strange dream. With every one of those moments, you feel gratitude humming inside you. Now here you are, a couple of years later, looking back on that time with a mix of nostalgia and disbelief. You're not the same person who cheered for a few weeks off school. That year changed you. In some ways, you grew up faster than you expected to. You learned how it feels to have your world flip upside down and how to adapt when everything familiar disappears. You carry some scars from that time, maybe a bit of lingering anxiety, but you also carry a new appreciation for every little thing: a noisy cafeteria, a crowded hallway, a sleepover at a friend's house, a Saturday afternoon at the mall. Those ordinary things now seem like luxuries. You don't take them for granted because you remember when they were gone. Even though the pandemic has faded from the headlines, it still shapes how you see the world. You learned how fragile normal can be and how connected everyone's lives really are. Something that happened halfway across the globe ended up changing your entire daily routine, and that insight made you more aware. You know now that while you were just a bored teenager at home, others were literally fighting for their lives. That realization made you more empathetic and more grateful. It even makes you think about the future differently. You'll be quicker to help others in need, or at least remember how interconnected we all are. You see the world with new eyes. When you think back to those lockdown days, it's with conflicted feelings. There's some nostalgia, oddly enough, for the pockets of happiness in all that chaos. You remember the fun parts, the late-night gaming sessions, the silly TikTok challenges, the cozy family movie nights, the creativity that sprang from boredom. Those memories are real, and they're yours to keep. But you also remember the other side, the loneliness, the anxiety, the days that blurred together, the constant question of, when will this end? That's all part of it too. Together, the good and the bad make up the full picture of what it was like to be a teenager in that extraordinary time. In the end, the teenager who woke up in 2020 to a world on pause survived the ordeal. That lockdown year will always be a chapter of your life that shaped you. Now, each morning when you wake up to an ordinary day, getting dressed, going to school or work, seeing friends, you carry the memory of a time when all of that was out of reach. That memory reminds you how precious normal life truly is, and it's a perspective you'll hold on to as you move forward.